If there's one thing I've learned... No, wait. If there's one thing I've learned about that... No. Okay. If there's one thing that I've learned on... Wait, damn it. This video making thing is harder than it looks, you know.
It's okay. I'll edit it in post.
If there's one thing I've learned over the many years of watching seasonal anime, it's that you will come across shows that have some crazy good potential, but they will ultimately lack something in the end. It's like you want to love them, you really do. It's just there's always something missing. I want to take a moment and talk about a few anime that I think knock it out of the park in all aspects except for the ones that really matter. Here are some of the coolest looking anime that somehow managed to drop the ball hard. I want to preface this video by stating that the main purpose of this is not to rag on these shows, but rather to discuss the what ifs. What could have made these animes better, and why exactly do I feel personally that they failed? So let's get this started. First show I want to talk about is called Dimension W. I remember watching this series back when it aired in 2016. I don't think it was recommended to me at all. I just remember seeing the cover art and thought, this looks cool. And oh boy it was. The cyberpunk style and colorful world made me instantly intrigued. You've literally got everything here. Great character design, cute robot waifu, badass main character, and hell, even the opening is a banger. But then that leaves you questioning, what exactly was it that went wrong here?
Oh, let me guess. Was it the title? Because the title is really stupid. The existence of a W dimension implies that
Hey, whoa. That was an invitation. Although, yes, I do agree with you that the name is quite stupid.
Are you sure? Because I know everything about the Cartesian coordinate system and it...
Yes, the Cartesio-what's-it system. Very valid point, computer. As lovely as that sounds, I think we should talk about the real problem with the series. It can all be surmised to just one simple thing: story. This anime has no real story. Stuff just kinda happens with no rhyme or reason, and it just isn't very engaging. I look at this world and characters and think, how could something this cool be this bland and boring? It's not like the characters weren't likable. Kyoma isn't the most unique guy in the world, but I've definitely seen worse, and Mira the robot girl is very endearing all throughout. I feel like the world they've constructed here is just far too good for the plot that they have to work with. I get that it's based off a manga, so you can't really fault the animation studio for this. They did the best they could with what they had. But how will we go about fixing it is the real question. Well, the plot we have is centered around bounty hunters doing jobs, searching for illegal coils, which are devices that can harness the power of different dimensions.
Which is really dumb.
It is. However, there is a way to make the story and the dumb coils really interesting. The main character Kyoma is very similar to the protagonist in another show I enjoy called Psycho-Pass. The reason I say this is because in Psycho-Pass, the setting is a world where crime is dictated by the Sybil system, a system that checks the background of each individual and determines the probability of them committing a crime or even being hostile in a given situation. The main character in that show completely disowns the new method of handling things and is very old school to the point where he carries his own firearm because he trusts his own instincts way more than he trusts any dominator. Kyoma is kind of the same way. He doesn't like the way things have changed and how people have become so reliant on the new coil energy. He still has an old school car that runs on gas and fights with simple hand-to-hand combat over using more conventional weapons. Hell, they even both have to look after someone who doesn't see eye to eye at first, but then by the end of their story, they make for a great team. We've all seen that done before, but we've seen it definitely done better than Dimension W. Here's the thing. Psycho-Pass has a more linear story, and they also spend a lot more time developing their characters so that way whenever they're taking on these cases, they feel more like a small piece of a bigger puzzle instead of feeling like monotonous filler. Dimension W is the exact opposite. The problems that are introduced are resolved so fast you never get any real time to enjoy it. You know how in school they always taught you about the basics of storytelling? First you have the opening exposition, then you have the conflict and rising action, and then rising action leading to the climax, yada yada yada, you get the point. This series doesn't follow those rules at all. It's just exposition followed by climax and then resolution, and they're all done sometimes within the same episode. There's no build up to anything, stuff just happens and then things are okay again. Which isn't a bad thing, but when stuff that happens isn't all that interesting, It just makes for a more underwhelming watch. If I had to rate Dimension W, I would give it a D. I'm not saying don't watch it, but...
Don't watch it.
Yeah, she's right. Don't watch it. Okay, so Black Fox is an interesting one to talk about because I really did enjoy parts of it, but other parts had me a little confused. I first saw the trailer on YouTube and thought, this looks pretty cool, and as you guys can tell, that's kind of how I find a lot of my anime. At first glance, I thought it was going to be a show, but it ended up being a movie. It's about this ninja girl named Rika who has her home attacked and tries to avenge her grandfather by taking down this hit squad. Now, the reason why I summed it up to just one sentence is because that's literally all there is to it. The movie moves at an insanely fast pace, and you're just sat there thinking, wait, whoa, slow down, can I absorb what's going on here? It sucks because, unlike Dimension W, this movie wasn't boring. I was entertained, but I could tell that the runtime was killing it for me. This would have made for a great short and sweet 12-episode series. I like the characters a ton, they just never really got enough time to get fully fleshed out. The designs are on point, and the fight scenes, oh my god, don't get me started on the fight scenes. This animation studio went way harder than they had to for this one. Mwah, peak animation quality. Also, before you comment this down below, because I know a lot of you are, the main character in this movie was rocking that Michiru look way before BNA was a thing. But seriously, how crazy is it that these two characters who look eerily similar get their series released just within a few months of each other? It's kind of crazy, right? Also, I want to mention that Rika is literally just Strider if he was an anime girl. She commands these robot animals in the form of a dog, squirrel, and an eagle. It's super cool. And towards the end, she gets the super sick cyber suit. And honestly, the movie is just overflowing with flash and over-the-top action. It's only when you bring up the certain elements like the hilarious joke of a villain or the breakneck speed in the plot, you start to feel the issues. The movie did end with some sequel bait, so maybe there will be more that hopefully improves upon the issues. Honestly, the best way to fix this thing is just to make it a series instead of a movie. But by no means is this movie bad. It's actually pretty good. It just could have been a lot better. I'd give it a C-. It's a fun watch, and the action scenes alone are totally worth it. Okay, the final show I want to talk about today is Roka no Yuusha, or as most people know it, Braves of the Six Flowers. This show is actually a legitimately good show. I would recommend this to any viewer. The plot is super unique. Essentially, the world is in danger of being destroyed by a demon god, so as prophecy foretold, 6 heroes will be chosen to take on the mission of defeating him. The 6 of them are known as Braves, and each share a tattoo symbolizing that they have been chosen. Now, I know I said it was a very unique plot. Trust me, this sounds generic on paper, but it's what they do with this premise that makes the series super interesting. So all 6 of the Braves meet up at the same location before they embark on the journey, but then it's discovered that there are 7 people that show up with tattoos, meaning that one of them is a traitor. So what starts out as being a simple action adventure quickly turns into a riveting 12 episodes of pure mind games. Try to think of it as a 4-hour-long game of Among Us, except you're sitting in the back chewing on your popcorn and watching the chaos unfold.
Whoa, hold up a minute. I thought you were talking about the bad stuff.
Oh, of course, don't get it twisted. This show definitely dropped the ball. In my humble opinion, the ending sucked. The thing is, a lot of people wanted a second season for this show, but I'm honestly not sure it should get one. Once the gimmick is over and the imposter is found, the dip in quality is quite noticeable, and it made me realize, yeah, I don't need the action adventure part that they set up. I'm honestly completely fine with the murder mystery style thing that we had in those 12 episodes. The ending just left a sour taste in my mouth, and for all I know, the manga it's based on could have gone on an amazing adventure after the anime. But I don't know, that ending was rough, like super rough. It just felt like the characters were written to antagonize each other, and when the tone quickly shifted and they all became buddy-buddy, I was not digging that at all.
So what? You just wanted them to kill each other in the end?
I don't know, it just felt off to me. Maybe I'm weird.
Super weird.
What do you know? Thank you guys for watching, leave a like, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys next... Computer? Computer? I guess I deserve that.
You left your mark. Yeah, you were here. You left your scar and disappeared. I feel like